Well, hello everybody, and welcome back or welcome to the channel because today is a great day as we are watching the Season 3 premiere of The Legend of Vox Machina. Full disclosure, friends, if you look at some of the early playlists on this very channel, you'll see that I am a huge fan of tabletop role-playing games, and I have been eagerly awaiting the continuation of this fantastic campaign. Just a brief thing, in Critical Role, I joined them in the middle of the Briarwood arc, and so rode with them the rest of the way towards the final conclusion of this campaign. So I'm eagerly awaiting to see how they translate those tabletop stories into yet another season of the excellent Vox Machina. Friends, if you could do me a favor first, hit that like button, smash that subscribe, ring that bell for notifications. Greatly helps out a small channel and it allows me to alert you next time we go live with Vox Machina. And of course, if there's anything that we do that you would like early or in its full-length format, the link to our Patreon is in the description. But my friends, all that is then and this is now, and now it's time for the Season 3 premiere of The Legend of Vox Machina, Episode 1, A Deadly Bargain. Prepare to engage maximum warp reaction, and for the first time this season, away we go! Oh, let's go. Oh my guy, go for it, Rogue. Ooh. He's going in to snoop around, isn't he? Dagger, 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 my friend. Lifelong rogue here, everybody, so I'm gonna be biased.
How Noray's kingdoms lay broken at my
Lance.
But with Umbrasil fallen, Raishon's mission is more crucial than ever. We are not alone.
Wow.
Something was here.
Is it the Frigid Doom? Is that the moniker? I'm gonna get a lot of that stuff wrong. It's been a bit. My Swiss cheese brains, I can remember all the ins and outs. Oh my god, I love this character.
Oh God. Yes. My children soon will be gods.
Roll. Go, my friend. Oh my god, it's so cool. Venting. Hell of a way to start. Oh! I didn't see that coming. Let's go. Chills, man.
Enough of this yap! Okay, maybe a little more yapping.
Your kind raised Byrodin.
Nearly everyone in our village dead, including our mother.
Awesome.
Thordak did that to you?
Not exactly, but he will be punished nonetheless.
So it's revenge you're after?
I always love this reflective.
It's not what Thordak did. It's what he didn't do. A runic curse afflicts me. But centuries of survival have given Thordak knowledge of a cure.
Free me, deceased deceiver, and I shall free you of your ills.
The bonds of the soul anchor were unbreakable, but with my magic.
She embedded it, yep. Made him quite big.
But the gem gave him ungodly power.
Dear God.
And the cure?
There is no cure.
Then why not slay him yourself? Your magic made him like this.
Yeah, it's just under the power.
Can destroy him alone, but together.
There is no together, bitch!
Ooh.
I assume you wish me dead, Ashari?
That's an understatement.
Ooh, Keyleth.
But I will see Thordak pay for his lies before his plan comes to fruition.
Plan? What plan? This vague bullshit's getting old.
When his brood of eggs in Iman hatches, your world will be bathed in fire.
When will these eggs hatch?
Weeks, maybe days.
I mean, what are we waiting for? We got vesticles.
Vestiges.
Yeah, right, what?
The plate of the Dawn Martyr. Magical armor that
really?
can repel hellfire itself. It has felled dragons before.
It's Iron Man armor.
It resides in Ankarel, located by Umbrasyl before you destroyed him. Now another treasure hunter seeks it.
Think we know.
Go fuck yourself. Anyone can conjure illusions. This is clearly an ambush.
You all agree with the Ashari?
We're a team.
But if that's the path you've chosen...
No, don't let her do it!
There we go.
Are you all right?
Waking in your arms again? Oh, you should start charging me.
Gilmore.
Sometimes you wear a crown and call yourself Grand Poobah the Mayonnaise when no one's looking.
Yeah, okay, it's a...
Knock, knock, Thordak! Acid!
She shoots poison?
Oh, right. Knock, knock, Thordak! Poison!
Pike's a little bit more animated in this, no pun intended.
Sometimes a stiff moral code must be bent for the greater good.
Says Percy.
I'll go after her.
It's so cool that you can, Rogue. Whitestone. Look at this. That's where they are, right? They're still at Whitestone.
Whoever's there, you don't want to fuck with me tonight.
I don't doubt it.
It always feels like my opinions don't count.
They count with me.
Do they, Vax? You've been so different.
He's got a lot on his mind.
There's a balance. Like I'm finally ready for whatever comes next.
What a story between these two. What a story. Here we go. That kind of chokes me up. Takes me back, everybody. Oh, God.
Sorry, was that bad? I felt your tongue and it freaked me out, and I'm new at this.
I'm new.
It was wonderful. Just intense. And I need a moment.
He also has a jealous matron.
You're up early.
Never slept. I hate our options.
Really bothering you, darling.
There's a bear in here with us. Trinket.
Raishan followed. I've endangered my people once more.
The way you self-analyze. I've always admired it.
And you're right. I must focus on the problems ahead. On fixing this.
That's what you do best, buddy.
I know we can. Together. It won't matter whether Raishan is lying if we can get to those eggs.
If they're real, we'd have an ally. Shall we wake the others?
Trinket?
I think Mercer does the voice for Trinket, too, in this, which is amazing.
Grant us luck.
In the campaign, the tree was like a surfer. Hey, Keyleth.
The item you requested should make quite a show.
Gilmore has saved their bacon quite a bit with appropriately timed gifts and the ability to raid his various shops.
As we know, I'll be making a daring aerial incursion.
I'm on rock duty.
Me and Grog will get up close and personal with our vestiges.
Vesticles.
With mine circling overhead.
I'll be watching Vax.
And I'll be ready with the signal for when he fails.
For when he fails.
Plan sounds aces. What could possibly go wrong?
The Cinder King? It's a hell of a try, bud. Come on, you went in by yourself. You got two ancients in there.
Shit! Do the thing!
Gilmore.
More insects.
Look at this. Let's go. Come on, Grog. No fear. The venting is so cool. Damn. Full disclosure, I hate bards, except for one. Whew.
The eggs, the nest. The vestiges aren't enough. We need to run.
Oh my god, what a shot.
These are the vestiges Umbrasyl coveted. Your relics will lie in ash with your corpses.
Wow.
Take cover!
Oh, Pike.
We need to hide! Now!
And you need to level up.
Raishan!
Careful where you point that.
This is your fault. You told Thordak we were coming.
Please. Yeah.
Get us out of here, and we'll reconsider.
Finally, a rational mind.
I mean, we know she's lying. I mean, you don't have to have any... She's just that type, but there's elements of truth to it, too. Woo! She took a blast. Yep.
Somebody put out that fire.
Geeky.
Now do you trust me?
We don't trust you. We believe the elements of your tale.
For I will have Vox Machina brought to me, and thee shall burn.
Thordak, we get it. You're bad A. Oh, wow. Marquette. Now help me out here, friends. I thought for sure that this came later. I think this might be one of the things they resequenced. I might be wrong, though, completely.
Over here is the famed Suncut Bazaar, the river district, where you can find anything your heart desires.
Mercer can come up with some of the best names in the business.
And down this street is where your dragon friend said we'd find the vestige.
Where do you think you're going?
Vex, remember that favor you owe me?
Raishan's holding all the cards, and we're exactly where she wants us. Vax?
What other play do we have?
That's it. Not doing anything isn't a play.
Keyleth,
Percy? That sounded like...
No, that didn't sound like Percy. That sounds like somebody else. Now, of course, you have the same weapon as you're walking in amongst the bodies that have been killed by said weapon.
She is still here.
Ripley. Wow.
A pepper box. It can't be.
Percy, we need to keep our heads if we're going to...
Go. Yeah, Percy's not going to keep his head. Really good first episode. Holy smokes. A lot going on. Rode Grog down.
Vex, your broom! Follow them!
I gave it to Scanlan.
You what?
Oh, Dr. Dransel? Nice. Woo, let's go! What do you got?
Vax, look out!
Apparently quite a bit.
Shit, sorry.
I like Keyleth is like a sailor. She has like my vocabulary with cursing. I've been restraining myself during this.
Spice?
I'm sorry, what?
You spice? Spice it?
What? Oh, I mean, sometime. No, not right now.
The spice was a huge thing in the campaign. Huge. I'm so... I mean, obviously, as a substitute for illicit drugs, but it was, you know, a Three's Company misdirect.
Anna Ripley.
Yeah.
Why am I not surprised, Percival? Then again, you put things together faster than anyone I've met.
You're all alone.
Oh, that's the thing, Percival. I'm never...
Never.
We had a bargain, Percy.
Here we go.
I will happily correct.
Aw, Lance. All right, everybody, we just got done watching The Legend of Vox Machina Season 3, Episode 1, A Deadly Bargain, and the only thing left to do is to talk about it. All right, everybody, we just got done watching the Season 3 premiere of The Legend of Vox Machina over on Amazon Prime. The title is A Deadly Bargain, I believe. Okay, so first off, what I'm going to do here is I am not going to give any plot beats, any any plot points or story beats for the rest of the campaign. One, they could be wildly inaccurate if they decide to re-sequence things or redo things. And two, I'm certainly not going to ruin anything that anybody has already, if you haven't watched the campaign or unaware of how it ends up, I don't want to ruin any of those story beats or plot points because they're humdingers. There's some good ones coming up. And again, I don't know because I have been very surprised by season 1 and season 2, certain things that they've put in more season 2 than 1, but really great stuff. I just like seeing the representation of a fantastic story told by a collective around a tabletop role-playing game. Really come together as well as it has in these first 2 seasons. And again, with this premiere, I thought it was very well done. I thought it was paced and storyboarded fantastically, with the flashback, with the setup for the incursion and then all that good stuff. And they got all the way to Marquette in this first episode. That's crazy. I mean, they spanned quite a bit of time, and really got us moving into season 3. Now, again, and I'm probably super duper wrong about this, but I always remember, and again, I have a Swiss cheese brain. I can remember certain things, I can remember the names of all of my GI Joes, but the periodic table gone. So it's certain things I'll retain and certain things I'll get wrong, which is probably something I'm doing right now. But for those of you that watched the campaign or are aware of the events of the campaign, I was under the impression that Marquette came later, and I'm just going to leave it at that because it doesn't really matter. I mean, as soon as we still get these certain elements coming in, and I will say this: if you we're talking a little bit during the reaction, speaking about Marquette, about the spice, that is a whole thing, which I mean dominated at least 2 sessions that I can think of where it was just this massive I felt bad. I'll say this, and I don't want to ruin anything, but it speaks to the brilliance of Matt Mercer, the DM for Critical Role. You could tell Matt is such a prepper. He had everything ready for this brand new place. I mean, if I'm remembering correctly, there was like a casino and he had like actually made up games that everybody could play, like 3 or 4 distinct brand new games, not like craps or poker or blackjack. No, I mean, he made up brand new games. I think they were all dominated by dice, but there were a couple cool elements in each one. I always thought they were really neat, but he had like this, they're going to love it. They're going to be able to play these games. And like right at the beginning of that episode was when Sam, who plays Scanlan, Sam Riegel, I came across this spice stuff. And I'm going to leave it at that because you talk about, for all of you that have been, played in a TTRPG or been a DM or a GM, how easily things can, you can make this great NPC, flesh them out with a 100-page backstory of the greatest crap you've ever written down. You're like, oh my God, this is my opus for an NPC. And you can plop that person down you can plop them down in a very identifiable area. Like the gang's definitely going to come across this person. They're going to love them. And then I'll be able to, my 100-page tale will begin. And then, as they're walking to get to your NPC of merit, you will just offhandedly, describe somebody as, they look vaguely like the Scarecrow from Wizard of Oz. And everybody goes, wait, who's that? And you literally... they never get to your NPC, and you're spinning a brand new NPC up because they're fascinated by one element of a descriptive, a note or a descriptor that you've given. It happens a lot, but it's really, really cool. And so that's what happened. It's my long-winded way of saying Matt he always makes incredibly detailed areas with the most fantastic names. His names are just the titles for things, and that is, I think that is his greatest strength, and he has many of them. But his ability to come up with unique and incredibly rich sounding names, for the places that they visit, for the the institutions inside. I don't want to ruin anything. Institutions inside those places, and I mean, we had the Slayer's take, which I thought was great, but that's it. That in the grand scheme of things, there's so many great ones to come, and he only when he gets rolling, even in campaign 2 and stuff, there's just so many. My man has a fantastic mind, and he puts it on display here. But I just really, really enjoyed this episode. It took us around the horn. We got a chance to talk about each and every one of the characters again. Spend a little bit of time with each one, kind of be reminded of what their personality is, reminded of what their problems are. You know, with Percy, we saw the Shadow Demon. I think it's Orthax. I think it's Orthax, is the shadow demon that plagued Percy, we kind of had him cursed and all those things, comes back. And, a lot of the times in Vox Machina, you see that there's, and it's, again, Mercer always leaves himself with an out for a lot of these characters. And I don't want to say which characters I'm thinking of, because I'm guessing we're going to see them again as well. But really, really great stuff. I mean, he's able, when he has a favorite, he'll find a way for them to come back. And it's never dissatisfying how he does it too. You're like, oh, that's right. You're like, you kind of forget how the events of maybe a prior conflict ended, and but Matt doesn't. Matt certainly doesn't, and he's ready to rock and roll whenever it comes time, because the story of Vox Machina is, obviously it's a legendary story that has become a really, really good cartoon. I'll tell you what impressed me the most. One, I'm a rogue at heart. I've been a rogue since the very first time I rolled dice, way back in second edition, and I've just loved thieves and rogues and assassins, and the whole tree of stealth. That's been my thing. So obviously Vax'ildan is somebody that I immediately fell in with, but not to the I didn't just push everybody else away. I love all the other characters quite a bit, but when it comes to bards, I joke a lot about I have a lot of friends that play bards, and so most of the time when I say stuff, it's completely in jest, and I don't. But my statement has always been I hate bards, because if you think about the spectrum of characters, the rogues, they can be charming, absolutely, but that's not their. Rogues are, don't look at me, I'm doing something else, shadowy, pass without trace, it's a ranger thing, but that type of stuff, just I'm over here, brooding. And then a bard normally is the complete opposite, spotlight. And so I've always said that bards bring unnecessary attention to a party, and it just went from there. But with all that being said, Sam Riegel's portrayal of Scanlan is one of the best I think I've ever seen at a tabletop game, if not the best. It's incredibly rich. You think, oh, he's a comedian, he's funny, he makes up, or he's comic relief is what Scanlan is. And I think whenever, a lot of us were watching the campaign when it first rolled around, I think that's what we all thought. We're like, oh yeah, Sam's here for the comic relief. Scanlan's just the funny character. Again, not ruining anything, but I'm really, really interested to see where Sam and the entire creative team of the Legend of Vox Machina, how much of Scanlan's story they decide to tell, because it's incredibly good, and it's a meaty one. There's a lot for Sam Riegel to chew off and bite into this one. So I'm very curious, and that's why I love Scanlan, because as for all the entertaining that he gives us as on the comedic side, the entertainment does not stop if he branches off into other emotional responses. Really, really good stuff, my friends. And but I think that my long-winded way of saying, I think my award for wow, I didn't see that coming type of moment in this episode was Keyleth. Whenever I was originally watching it, it's a bunch of voice actors that have gotten together. We all know that, a bunch of nerdy ass voice actors. But Marisha Ray, she was probably, and I don't mean this to sound mean at all. She was she had the least experience of anybody, you know, in the everybody else had, been doing it for a while, had, a lot of major league title, big studio title video game stuff under their belts already, and Marisha hadn't. And I don't want to say that I always thought that Marisha played Keyleth very well. I always thought that she was very, very strong. But, when you're surrounded by people that are used to, emoting and really getting into it, I think that Marisha kind of, I don't want to say she was over or surpassed or anything like that. I just think that, there was, when you have a room full of shining lights, you can't really differentiate the glow. And, but in this voice work that Marisha Ray did here, thought it was very good. I thought it was exceptional. That initial exchange with Rayshawn, really, really good. Real, you could feel it, when she was cursing at her, fuck you. That was great. I thought that was incredibly good, and that was the biggest surprise to me in this episode. I mean, the visuals are always stunning. I love me a good rogue escape, and the Thordak, and of course Lance Reddick, one of his final roles, as far as to what I know, one of the last times we'll ever hear him. But it's just a really, really cool episode with just talent out the gills on display. But it really sets up an interesting kind of mad dash here for what is the apex of the Chroma Conclave, which is Thordak. I'm going to leave with this. Matt Mercer said that, and he's been pretty open about this when he was talking about like the resolution of Campaign 1 and certain things that happened with the different story arcs. And with the Chroma Conclave, I don't think he was 100% happy with, I think it's the easiest way to say this. I think it was more than, what I'm saying here. But he wasn't really happy with the resolution of the Thordak storyline, to be as generic as possible. And I think now that they have a chance to kind of redo it in a way, not necessarily, take away from what happened in the actual campaign, but maybe, smooth out the rough edges. I think we're going to see something really special. And I like how they're approaching this as limited time, it's absolutely clock driven. Really good stuff, friends. Anywho, if you could do me a huge favor, everyone, if you could hit that like button, smash that subscribe, ring that bell for notifications. It greatly helps out a small channel, and it allows me to alert you next time we go live with The Legend of Vox Machina, or any of our sci-fi fare. And of course, if there's anything that we do that you would like early or in its full-length format, the link to our Patreon is in the description, my friends. But all that's then and this is now, and now it's time to say goodbye. So where should we say goodbye from? Well, just because I want this. We're gonna, and by the way, this is what we usually do. We say goodbye from an element of the episode where maybe the audience has a chance to participate in the story a bit. So we're gonna say goodbye from the streets of Marquette, as Scanlan has just had his spice encounter, and as the decidedly Matt Mercerian looking figure runs off, they happen to run around the corner right to where we are watching. And as we are ready to say goodbye to this episode, he opens up his cloak and asks us, "Do you spice?" Friends, until we have the answer to that question, Vulcan roll, and I'll see you.